Don't these look delicious? Don't eat them. Hi, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make these colorful, whimsical little floral cupcakes. And with the leftover flowers, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful rainbow arrangement. So let's get started. So this arrangement was really inspired by these cute little silicone cupcake holders. Now, I don't bake, so I don't make cupcakes, but I found these really cute, colorful silicone cupcake holders on Amazon. And of course, my mind goes to, what kind of flowers can you use with that? Anyway, it's just a whimsical, fun little project that I'm going to do today with you. And it's going to be really easy. It's sort of a variation on a theme. You know how I've always taught you guys how to do small arrangements? Well, this is that, and we're going to display it in a fun 3-tier tray. And we're just going to make little arrangements in these cute little silicone cupcake holders. And these are very inexpensive that I found on Amazon. So if you are interested or if you make cupcakes, then this might be fun for you to do. Okay. So we're going to start with making little discs of floral foam. I did a prototype here, and this is about the right size for an arrangement. So what I'm going to do is, what I did is measure this and, see, that's a little arrangement already. Measure this, and we're going to repeat it here. So I've already cut all the discs, but I'm going to show you what I did. First of all, you measure the foam. It's about 1 inch thick or so, depending on your cupcake holder or your container. You know, you don't have to do it exactly the same size as mine. We're going to go ahead, and I found this little votive holder. I don't know what, a shot glass votive holder, something that I had that's like the perfect size disc. So we're just going to make a little impression here, kind of like a cookie cutter. And then we're just going to cut around it. Now, if you actually have a cookie cutter this exact size or the right size, that's perfect. It doesn't work with this cutting through, because what happens is the foam gets stuck in the cup and you can't get it out. And I'm just going to cut around it with my foam knife. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It's just you want it to be about the right dimensions for your little cupcake holder. If you do a square piece of foam in there, that's okay too. But the problem is, if it could make the cupcake holder a little misshapen if you got some weird angles in there. That's why I'm bothering to cut it into little round pieces. When we're using cylinder vases, for instance, I don't use a cylinder foam. I just go ahead and use like a rectangular or square piece of foam in there. But in this case, because our vessel is sort of soft and, you know, wobbly looking, we're going to need to make sure our foam doesn't have weird angles to misshapen that soft side. And they do sell foam knives, but I think I've told you before, this is just an old bread knife. Any straight knife that's sort of long with a serrated edge would work great for a foam knife. Okay, so now we got that all cut. We're going to go ahead and fill the little cups and just make our little arrangements. Now, if you're cutting a lot of foam, I would suggest you use a cutting board or surface that, you know, is non-porous, but I'm just cutting a little piece, so I just put it on my turntable here. So for flowers today, we have an assortment of flowers. So this is one of those arrangements. We're not going to need a lot of flowers, but I wanted a lot of variety because I wanted to be a fun riot of color. And so we have spray roses in 3 different colors: vibrant yellow, orange, and hot pink. Some purple aster, some little white button mums, some white daisy mums, hypericum berries in pink and red, and a little pink bicolor carnation. So I was just looking for little flowers that are fun and have small little heads so that we can fill these cups. And I'm just going to do a mishmash of different combinations. There's no rhyme or reason. So I did one already just to kind of test how many flowers I need. And I used about 3 flowers and little accent flowers in there. So I'm going to make this one next. This is a pink one. And I was trying to do it sort of more contrasting instead of coordinating, like not doing pink flowers necessarily in the pink one. It's kind of up to you. If you like that, then go with it. That would be really cute to have a monochromatic also, but there's so many different colors. I felt that maybe it's more fun to just have it all mixed up. So for the pink one, I don't know, do we do yellow? Yeah, maybe we do the yellow. So just cut these really, really short and set it pretty deep in the foam. And I would put a little bit of water in here. I didn't put water in here right now, but I will when I'm done. Just a tiny bit of water, maybe just 1/2 inch of water. You don't need a lot of water, and just kind of refill it as it gets low. Now this is definitely just kind of a whimsical, fun thing. Great for, you know, maybe a little girl's birthday party or a shower, something like that. So it's not meant to last forever anyway. What other color? Do we want to do the little pink carnations maybe? I don't know. I'm just making it sort of random and almost cartoonish, if that makes sense. I don't want it to be matching and perfect, just kind of crazy colors, because I think this arrangement kind of lends itself to it. Here's some of these purple asters. I'm also using a lot of flowers that I don't normally like. I never like the asters. You know, they're just a very common filler flower. I don't love the way they look, but I think these little purple asters are perfect in this type of arrangement. So I love making these little arrangements. You could just kind of zone out and do them. I have little tiny pieces of boxwood I cut from my hedge because I just wanted a very tiny greenery. I might not even need it, but I thought, well, maybe a little green might be pretty in here. Yeah, I think it's nice. Okay. So like I always say, there's no right or wrong. Kind of go to the market or grocery store and find little flowers that you like and just use them however you like. Okay. And then the main thing is to make sure that you're covered. It's not like the foam is not showing. Small as these little carnations are, they still seem kind of big, huh? Okay. I'm gonna move this a little bit and angle it so that the foam doesn't show. Oops. And if you don't add any water for a party, you should be fine because you've got a wet piece of floral foam and very small little tiny materials in here, right? Okay, here's our second one. Here's a blue one. So it's just nice to have all your little foam pieces already lined up for you. I'm gonna use the orange in this one. And maybe a little bit of this white mum. This little white mum is so cute. Look at that with the little green centers. So cute. So just playing with kind of textures and this crazy mix of color. Kind of nice. You don't need to be elegant in this arrangement. This is not an elegant arrangement. It's just kind of a fun, colorful, whimsical design. Every now and then it's nice to do that, right? Don't take yourself so seriously. Just do something fun. I know you want some berries in there. Should we do some pink berries? Oh yeah, that'd be cute. These are little Hypericon berries. Great little filler, and I thought that it's also really cute in arrangement like this. I'm going to use a larger white daisy in here. Okay. I don't know. Should we do a pink carnation? Nah, maybe not. How about another sprig of this Hypericon berry? I was hoping they had some green Hypericon berries, but they did not. So I bought some pink and red ones. They're pretty cute. What other little accents do I have? Guess I could just do a little bit of greenery. Sort of give yourself permission to do all the colors that clash that you would never do if you're doing a serious arrangement, and just have fun and go crazy. Okay, so I've got these 3 done. I'm going to set it aside over here. Okay. Sometimes, I'll just double up if I think that it needs it, because sometimes they're kind of flimsy. So if you don't need that many arrangements, you can always double up on the silicone cups. How about some pink? I like the pink in here with the red. I also have some blue hydrangea. You cut hydrangea into little sprigs and use it in here. So you get to cut it into little floret sprigs. This reminds me of doing pomanders. We did a lot of pomanders in our day in in wedding work, where we do the little ball of flowers for flower girls, and the base of it is always hydrangeas. And then we would put little baby roses in there. Made a lot of pomanders. See how you can break up the little florets of hydrangeas to use? Sometimes it's hard if the stem is too soft. I also bought some red hypericon berries. See, you don't need a whole stem. I'm cutting it into little pieces here to use. That's St. John's wort. Ornamental St. John's wort. Adding a couple of little daisies. Let me see, what else? How about a little piece of this pink? Oh, and I've got some Sweet William. Well, it's not quite Sweet William, some kind of dianthus that's in this magenta color. Okay, here's another one. Let's see, go around and see if it needs any greenery or filler. Even though these are mini arrangements, they're just almost like a miniature version of a little centerpiece. You want to make sure the sides are covered and the foam is not showing, right? That's why I had to cut some boxwood to kind of fill in the sides here. There's not a lot of greenery, this tiny and dainty, so the boxwood is good. Okay, here's my little red one. Oh, they're so cute. Okay, let's go with a pink one. Okay. Another pink one. Let's do the blue hydrangeas again. Fills it in nicely, huh? It really does remind me of doing pomanders. We've done them also for aisle decorations, on shepherd's hooks. Whenever I see an order that had like 12 pomanders, I go, oh no, because they're pretty labor intensive. You won't believe how much hydrangea you need to just make a little ball like this. I think it's like 3 hydrangeas if they're full. So if you're buying for an event, you're going to have to buy a lot of hydrangeas if you're going to be making pomanders. All right, what color should we use in this one? Should we do a white mum? And most of the flowers I'm using today are pretty inexpensive flowers, and you don't need to buy very expensive flowers for this. Oh, how about some of this? This is a type of dianthus. Dianthus is a carnation family. So if they're really tight together in a cluster, they're called Sweet William. This is a little bit, I don't know, looser, almost like a filler flower. It's a type of dianthus, which is part of the carnation family. Maybe a hot pink in this one. Don't know if it's the time of year. The weather's actually still really beautiful in California, actually nicer than it's been in a while because it's finally cooler. But I don't know, I'm just feeling very crafty these days. I'm just trying to learn all sorts of different fun decorative crafts. And if any of it is successful, I will share with you guys. make stuff for the holidays coming up. Sometimes really nice to zone out and just do something creative. That's what I loved about being a florist all these years, is I'm always doing something creative, and at the end of a long day, at least I have something physical or visual to show for it. Okay, here's another pink one. All right, moving right along. Oh, here's a little lavender cup. That's cute. What should we put in the lavender cup? I don't know. Maybe the little yellow rose. So you don't need a lot of material for this. I just bought a few stems of spray roses, and I bet we're going to have plenty left over for another project. So I calculated, you know, without the flowers in it, just placing the cups in my 3-tier tray. So we're going to need 14 arrangements. We're going to do 3 on the top tier, and we're going to do 5 on the second tier, and then we're going to do 6 on the bottom tier for a total of 14 little arrangements. I have a design show coming up next month for the holidays for a local garden club, and I'm racking my brain to see what I'm going to show the ladies. Probably going to do like 3 Christmas and 3 Thanksgiving arrangements. And not sure if I'm going to record the show, but if I don't record the show, then I definitely will show you what we do for the show here on the channel, on my YouTube channel. So you guys are not going to miss anything, because I think I had a comment last week asking where my design show is going to be. It's a private show for a garden club locally, so it's not something that you can just attend, unfortunately, but I'll show you guys what I make. I'll either record the show, which I've done in the past, but it's really a lot of setup. So, and I also don't know how the members feel about being on camera. So most likely I will just do the arrangements for you that I'm going to be doing for the club. Okay, here's my little purple one. That's cute. Here's a little orange cup. Where do we want to put the little orange one? I don't know. Let's do some more of these blue hydrangeas. So I was making succulent pumpkins with a garden club that I joined recently, and it was a fundraiser for a local theater. And I've never made them before, but they turned out really cute. We're just hot gluing succulents and interesting little, you know, all sorts of things, little cones, little silk leaves onto little pumpkins. And they were so cute, and they were a huge hit. We sold them all in like the first hour. Here's some more of these little daisies. Little daisy button daisies. And this is also a project you can do if you have done an event or you've done some flowers and you've got lots of little short pieces left over, or just hodgepodgey flowers. You can do this fun little floral arrangement or project with just kind of leftover flowers too. Because nothing has to match. There's no matching. So it's kind of fun to do. Generally, it's just like everything to look designed. If you're doing a hodgepodgey arrangement just by itself, it doesn't look very elegant. You know, I'm always horrified by the horrible mixed bouquets that you see in grocery stores. But if it's intentional and it's part of a design, then it's really whimsical and charming. So sometimes if you can't find really beautiful or unusual floral materials, these very common floral materials, even in these kind of crazy colors, could be great if you have a design concept. And I always want to show you things that are Not super expensive to do, but makes a big impact because they're unusual, right? The imagination is what you're here for, and the ideas. And the arrangements themselves are usually not very difficult. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7. We're halfway through. All right. Turquoisey one. What color should we do in this turquoisey one? How about some orange and hot pink? I just love spray roses. They're just a very inexpensive way to use roses. And in this application, we can't even really use big roses. They're too big. But you can use these little tiny spray roses. Also reminds me of doing cake flowers for weddings. We just do like little tiny sprigs. I love doing cakes at weddings, but we stopped doing them because the scheduling never works out. When I used to do a lot of weddings, so often, we've committed to decorate the cake, and you're there, 3-4 hours before the wedding starts, and then you're waiting for hours and hours before the cake comes. Because the cake, as far as the bakery is concerned, they just have to drop it off, right? But you're waiting to decorate it, and it got to the point where it was too stressful to have to wait for the cake. Because sometimes we're doing 2 weddings on a weekend, and you can't go to your second wedding, or you have to leave somebody there waiting for the cake, part of your delivery staff, and then you have to go to the second wedding by yourself, or have a second staff. So it didn't make any sense financially to do the cakes, but they're always fun to decorate. Okay, here's my little blue one. Another little lavender one. Okay, since I've got these pink ones out, I might as well just use these. Right. Okay. This is an easy enough project that you can have even your children do it with you. You have daughters. I have a son, so never was interested in any of my craft or flower projects. But if you have girls or boys who might be interested, then you can even have them help you do this, especially if it's for a kid's party. Kind of like this little dianthus. It's got these little side shoots, like little mossy buds. It's very pretty. Let me put some purple in this one. Sure, why not? Some of this little purple aster. I almost never buy these little purple asters. I never like them. But for this, I think they're kind of cute. And they've got a fun color. It's a very inexpensive flower that you see. It's like a commonly used, I guess, in arrangements. Not in my arrangements. A few stems of this little daisy. Just give it a little white. Should we do some more of this hydrangea? Hydrangeas are wonderful for covering up foam, right? So we always use them in centerpieces because they're very neutral too, and they come in a lot of colors. I'm making a mess. All the little leftover stems are all over the table. I forgot about little berries. Let's do another stem of this pink hypericum berry. I love pale green with blue, so I'm going to use some of this blue hydrangea in here. I love blue flowers. It's so hard to find good blue flowers. Hydrangeas are great. Where I am, it's too hot to grow delphinium. I mean, they sell it all the time in like May and June, but I know not to buy it because it doesn't work in our area. Too hot. What else? Tweedia. I have a little bit of Tweedia that comes back every year, amazingly. It self-sows, and the seeds are really cool on Tweedia. Tweedia is a little tiny blue, porcelain blue, small flower. It's gorgeous, and it's like star-shaped and tiny, but it's a true blue, not lavender. And I have some Tweedia that I planted, I think from seed, I don't even remember, years and years ago. And it comes back every year because it self-sows. The seeds are in a pod, and kind of like dandelion, they have fluff on them, and they will explode in the fall, and the wind kind of carries it everywhere. Okay, it's my little green arrangement. Does it need a little flower here? Maybe, huh? What kind of flower should we put there? Another one of these little daisy things? Maybe. I'll get some of these little green center daisies. Now you've seen a lot of my videos. I don't use a lot of mums or daisies because I don't love the way their growing habit is. It's like so upright and hard to use. But I love using them in these kind of applications where you just kind of see the tops of the flowers. How about some more of these pink carnations? Now I always see these pink carnations. I think they're actually kind of ugly. But I wanted to buy it and use it in this because they're kind of fun, right? Because they're kind of cartoonish looking. This candy pink with a white edge. Thinking a regular arrangement, they could be a little bit tacky, but in this, we want tacky. We want it to be silly, right? In Technicolor. How about these lavender asters? Oh, I have more red berries. Let's do the red berry here. I'm going to pull the purple out and do the red berry. Don't love the purple with the red cup. Two more. What color do we do in this one? Well, since I cut the heads off of these, I might as well use them, right? I'm sure I'm violating every color theory there is out there. On purpose. Just trying to use the stuff I've cut already since we're getting towards the end of the arrangements. And we cut them so short that it's going to be pretty hard to use it anywhere else, right? Last one. Let's finish using our hydrangeas. See, that was just one stem of hydrangeas. We used it in several arrangements. Look at that. We pretty much used up all the flowers we cut and kept a lot of the stems whole, so we could do another arrangement with these flowers. Okay, we're done with the hard part, making 14 little mini arrangements. Now for the fun part, where we're going to put it all together. So if you stuck around for 14 little arrangements, here's your reward. We're going to go ahead and place them now. This is the fun part. I'm going to put a little green one here, a little pink one here. How about a blue one? That'd be cute, the little blue one here. Okay. There's 3 on the top. And I think we're going to do 5 on the second tier. Red. Let's get a little red one in here. That would be cute. A little red one here. Purple. Maybe a purple one. Okay. I'm going to do this color purple with the yellow flowers here. And how about an orange one? Which orange one should I do? Maybe I'll do this orange one right here. Oh, that's so cute. And then we're going to do the last here. We have a little green, a little orange one. Okay. Purple. yellow, yellow, blue, and how about a red one over here? Okay, we are all done. Now this would be really, really cute for a little girl's birthday party, for a bridal shower, baby shower, or just a little tea or brunch. And you could even intersperse these little floral cupcakes with real little cupcakes. Wouldn't that be really cute? Not only can these be the floral centerpieces for your party, but everyone could take home one of these little floral cupcakes as a favor. They're going to remember that party, aren't they? Now let's move on to our second project. Yes, we're going to do a second project today because we have so many leftover flowers. I told you I had to buy a lot of different flowers so that we have the variety and the colors for this one. But we only needed just little, little florets here and there. So we've got tons of flowers left in these rainbow colors. So I'm going to set this aside and show you a second arrangement. Okay, so for our second project, it's just going to be a very easy arrangement. I just wanted to use up all these beautiful, colorful flowers that we purchased. And I always liked those rainbow arrangements, so that's what we're going to do today. So at first, I was going to use floral foam in this clear vase and do the tea leaf wrap. But then I thought, I think with a rainbow arrangement, the clear vase would be really beautiful. And I love this little vase here. So what I'm going to show you this really cool mechanic. I don't know if you can see. These look like little glass balls, but they're like Jello. And it's something that you could buy on Amazon. You could also buy the flower market. It's this little crystal-y thing that looks like salts almost. And you put it in a bucket of warm water and they drink up a lot of water. They expand. And we used to use a lot of this in candles. When we have rental items, like we had these tall silver candelabras we rent out for weddings, we have glass votive holders. Now, if you put a votive in there, it's going to be hours and hours of work trying to get all that wax out. So what we usually do is we use these crystal beads, these gel beads in the votive holder. And we also use them often in cylinder vases if you want to just like have orchids floating on top or candles floating on top. They look like water, kind of interesting, without having water sloshing around or having to go to a venue and fill up something like 180 vases of water, right? Okay, so we're just going to use this. It's basically a mechanic. So it fills up space in your vase and you can fill it up with water. So I filled it up half with water. It's hard to tell because it's all clear. And what it is instead of floral foam, you could just kind of poke your stems in here. It's a really, really interesting mechanic. And I will link in the description where you can buy this. And a little goes a long way, but you don't want to hydrate these in the container. Use a bucket, use warm water, put the crystals in, strain it, just kind of dump it out in a strainer and then put it in your vase. And they're reusable. Once you're done with it, put it back in the bucket. What I do is have a bucket with a lid and that'll keep it, from drying out and you can use it over and over again. Do not throw this down the sink. Okay, you don't want this going down the sink or down the storm drain. If you were going to throw it away, I would bag it up and throw it in your trash because I'm not sure if it decomposes, it will cause a problem in the pipes, in your house. So do not throw this down the drain. Okay. All right. So we still have some blue hydrangeas left. So I'm going to pick a really beautiful head of hydrangeas and use that as my first element. Just going to cut the stems kind of short because this vase is not very tall. I'm going to set it right here at the end. And so I'm just really doing a rainbow of colors. And then the next color I'm going to use is the fuchsia roses. These roses are kind of thorny. They don't have thorns on the bottom, but they have thorns up here. This might be a little long, but let's try it. Yeah, it's too long. See how the stems just go right in and they kind of stay? So the placement, when you place in here, is not going to be as firm as floral foam, but it will hold your flowers for you, especially if you're going to, you know, fill up the whole vase. So we're just kind of massing the colors. We're going to do it in sort of like a rainbow. You want to make sure you take the leaves off. That's going to be in below the water line. Okay, got the fuchsia. Let's have some orange roses. There's still some of the orange roses that I cut earlier, so let's use the short ones first. So years ago, do you remember when slices of citrus, like slices of lemons and limes, were all the rage? You know, you line your vase with the citrus. So I had a wedding where we had to do something like 25 centerpieces, all with slices of lemon and lime lining the perimeter of the vase, you know, inside the vase like that. And I thought, well, this is the perfect mechanic to keep your citrus slices in place, right? So I did all these arrangements, put these in, put the citrus slices all arranged around the perimeter, and put it all in the fridge. The next day, I opened the fridge, and all these beads dissolved. So something about the citric acid in the citrus slices dissolved these beads. So I had this mess. So I had all the slices of citrus left floating around randomly in the vase, and all this crystal just disintegrated. So fortunately, I discovered it a day before the wedding. So what we ended up doing is doing two vases, one inside the other, a smaller cylinder inside a larger cylinder with just enough space for the slices. The arrangements are really heavy, and it cost, you know, twice as much in containers, but that's what we had to do. Adventures in my weddings. I'm just glad that we did the centerpieces several days ahead so that when we discovered it, it wasn't like the morning of the wedding. We had time to go buy the vases, and it worked out. Then we're going to do yellow on this side, yellow spray roses. So I remember doing that, and now I know. Don't ever put lemons or limes with these crystals. Who would have known, right? I thought it was an ingenious idea. We can use this and it'll hold the slices in place, and then we can do the arrangements. No. It was kind of a disaster. Then, of course, it's not my customer's fault, so we just had to pay for the extra containers that we had to buy. At least we could use the vase, the flower still. Live and learn. Okay, so that's sort of our rainbow arrangement. Now, as always, when I see like bright colors like this, flowers, I always want to put a little greenery with it. And I figure a very fresh, bright green would be beautiful with it. And you guys have seen me use this many, many times, the scented geranium for my garden. I just love it so much, not just because it's free, but because I just love this color, this pale, fresh, cheerful, bright green. And it's got such a beautiful texture too. And I think it'd be really great in this arrangement. So you saw how I just broke off leaves of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and tuck it in here around the perimeter. Just a little bit of greenery to finish it off. This vibrant green, like I always say, I feel kind of enhances the other colors. That's why I love buying green hydrangeas to use, Because green is very neutral in flowers because leaves are the color, are green. And a little bit of this green, I feel, makes everything else look brighter. And it smells so good. It smells like lemon. See? And here we have it, a really fun rainbow arrangement, just with the leftover flowers from our cupcake arrangement. And this will be really fun as a little centerpiece. It could be part of the same party, you know, if you're gonna go for a very colorful theme. So I had a lot of fun making these little arrangements. It was a lot of work making 14 little arrangements, but I'm definitely gonna use this at my next party, and it's gonna be great because people can take this home as little party favors. Wouldn't that be cute? And with the leftover flowers, I can show you a super simple rainbow arrangement. So I hope you had fun too and learned something. As always, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment to let me know what you're doing this week, and I will see you in my next video.